But Bo, you say, you've already reviewed the Lenovo Legion 2023 14.5-inch OLED model, the Lenovo Legion Slim 5. And I say to you, yes, I did, and I really liked it. So I bought it again. This here is last year's model, the 2023 Lenovo Legion Slim or 5 Slim AMD model equipped with the 14.5-inch OLED. You can see me reflected there. I really loved this laptop last year. It was basically the best 14-inch gaming laptop on the market. I mean, the Asus G14 2023 is still a good laptop, but it doesn't perform quite as well. It doesn't have an OLED. Different laptop, but it's still good. But I did prefer this one, primarily just due to better cooling. And of course, the screen's a little nicer. I kind of picked this up because I wanted to do a refresher because I'm really, really hoping that Lenovo decides to put this laptop out again. Okay, inside the laptop is, or getting into the laptop is very easy. You just take out some screws and then you go like that and it comes off because it's a metal bottom. And it's not those weird Lenovo Legions that are like, there's an annoying lip you can't get under. This is one of the good ones. That's good. Metal is in, interior is good. There's apparently a thermal pad that I had stuck to. Oh, I had it stuck there. Sure. They actually, you know, they're all metal and they have some pads on them to keep your NVMEs cool. And it's an intake. It's very basic, but the structure is there. It has these extra structure pieces and it doesn't creak and it doesn't groan when you use it. It's nice. What would I change then? So that doesn't need to be changed, fine as it is. So let's talk about what's good and what needs to be changed because that's the point of this video. Good. The battery is relatively large, 73.6 watt hour battery. They could make it bigger, but I wouldn't. I kind of like it as it is because there's more room for other stuff. Wi-Fi is fine. Leave it unsoldered. You can fix it if you want. This is critical to me. This is critical to me, Lenovo. Do not take away my second NVMe. One NVMe, two NVMe on a 14-inch laptop is not common, and it is such a selling feature for people like me, people who would be buying this. Gamers want a second NVMe so they can load their games up onto it. That's what I do. And I want to be able to load up my video files because my video files are massive. This is a type laptop that's probably appealing towards gamers or people like me who are doing, you know, gaming and creative type work. Speakers suck in this laptop. They work, like they're not like, yeah, I mean, they're not like tinny, rattly garbage or anything, but they don't sound good. These need to be upgraded to the square style high wattage ones. I don't even care. Like, what does it cost you, $1 or $2? I know you have product segmentation, but this 14-inch isn't competing with any of your other products. It's a totally unique SKU. What else would I improve? The cooling is good. I mean, you could make it better, technically. Oh, the laptop just turned on. Isn't that fun? That's a sleeping issue with the 7840HS AMD CPUs. They kind of spin. That's gone on the 8845HS. AMD fixed that. It's not a Lenovo issue. That's a AMD issue. When they put out the newer iteration of the same CPU, they stopped doing that apparently. So that's good. So that'll be gone. Whatever you do, if you put in 8845HS, it'll be gone. But if you put in the Ryzen AI, that'll be gone. These stupid speakers won't, or fans won't spin randomly. That's good. The cooling is fantastic on this laptop, but it could be more. I mean, I'm always going to get more. You have total VRM coverage with these, they're not vapor chambers, they're just like metal sheets, totally fine. Dual heat pipes, and they're thick heat pipes. This laptop runs cooler, quite a bit cooler actually than the 2023 Asus G14. I did have a full video on that actually. It runs quite a bit cooler, and it runs massively cooler than the 2024 one. The 2024 one not only runs hot, but it also has a lower wattage TGP GPU, which sucks. So it's not only less performant, it also runs hotter. So basically the same. Then you could leave the cooling as it is, or of course improve it. But I'd be happy to see this laptop basically exactly as it is inside, with a Ryzen AI and a 4060 or 5060, whatever, and better speakers. It's really all you have to do. That's basically it. So in terms of the design of the laptop, I wouldn't change much realistically. The lid here is all metal, so very premium. The bottom is all metal as well. So in hand, it feels very sturdy. This is my third unit of this. I went through them, just reviewing them and giving them retrospectives over time. I pick them up and then I get rid of them after. But this thing here, it feels very premium in the hand. There is some plastic on it, and it's actually the keyboard deck itself. So this is a plastic keyboard deck, but because the lid is metal, the bottom is metal, and it's a relatively thin laptop, it just feels very premium. This plastic here doesn't really have much flex. There's a little bit here if you press really hard. The keyboard deck itself has no flex at all, zero flex. Like zero flex whatsoever, actually less than some of the metal keyboard decks I've used out there. It could be because it's like relatively thin, like maybe that's why, and it's just, there's no over the keyboard to flex to. It's just like solid inside, so that's nice. Incredible trackpad as well. So very nice. So the laptop itself feels very premium. The hinges feel fantastic. The keyboard deck, it feels really, really nice to type on. It has a Legion keyboard, so obviously it's going to be really nice. And then, of course, the trackpad is extremely nice. Just really, really nice overall. It doesn't have any RGB. It just has backlighting. You can see that there. So some people may want RGB, but again, this is the Slim 5 lineup, not the Slim 7. So I guess that's probably why they do that. It would be nice to just have some RGB options for some people. Like I could make those purple, but I actually don't care. Like, a backlighting is all I need. Just I put it on the minimal. When it's dark, then I'm totally fine. What other things could we tweak here in terms of the design? Not really design, but I/O. I like the I/O on the back. I wouldn't change that whatsoever. That's a Lenovo staple. Having the HDMI on the back is critically important. Power on the back is critically important. These USB-As, I'd like to have one of them on the side. So I'd like to see one of the USB-Cs moved here, one of the USB-As moved here, so that we have USB-A-C, USB-A-C. Just annoying to have both the Cs here, and if I want to get to the A, I have to put it in the back. It's the most minor gripe, but I'm going to be critical about everything here. Now, something that I am very critical of, these are both USB-C, I think 3.1, Gen 1, 10 gigabit per second, whatever. These need to be USB 4. One of them has to be USB 4. That's one of the reasons I can't use this as a primary daily driver for myself, because I use USB 4 devices all the time. I test them on my channel all the time, and I can't test them on here because there's no USB 4 on this thing. So if it was Intel, I'm sure they would put in Thunderbolt 4 if they have an Intel model, but the new model of this has to have USB 4, at least one. You don't need more. Just give us one freaking USB 4, Lenovo. Make it happen. The screen, I would change maybe a couple things. The glossy is good for me. I love glossy OLEDs. I love them. Not sure if everyone else loves them. Some people don't like them. They're very divisive. So I think if they could bring down the glossiness of the screen a little bit, it would be good. Something like what the Asus G14 has. It's not glossy, but it's also not like super matte. Like I've had a P1 Lenovo ThinkPad that's like a matte OLED, and it's still a great screen, but it's so matte that it actually takes away from some of the colors. This one here is like to the extreme, like super, super reflective. I think they should bring that down because it's a bit of a gaming laptop. You may want to bring that reflectivity down. It's a minor gripe though. I think if it put the cost up a ton, then I'll just leave it as it is because it's supposed to be affordable. So if you could do that, Lenovo, make it a little bit less glossy. If not, don't worry about it. It's not a critical thing. 120 hertz refresh rate is fine. You don't need any more, especially at this 1800p resolution. I'd probably leave it as 1800p. You could make it 1600p because it's a relatively small screen. 1600p at this size actually is quite pixel dense. So you may consider making it 1600p rather than 1800p, but I think either is fine, realistically. I love high pixel density, but it's a 14.5 inch screen. It'll be fine at 1600. Your pick. But it does need to have Advanced Optimus. I don't want to have to restart my system because I want to go from dedicated only or iGPU only or hybrid graphics. That should be Advanced Optimus. So that should have been an option from the first place. I can't see them not doing that again. It's probably just something they did at the time. Pretty much all of the Lenovo Legions now have Advanced Optimus, but that does need to be changed. It does have to have Advanced Opt. Performance is fine on this laptop. The CPU is fine as it is. When you upgrade to the Ryzen AI, it's going to be fine. The GPU is fine with the amount of watts that it has. If you put it in again, just for this year's model, if it's 2024, leave it as it is. It's totally fine. If you then potentially offer the new stuff that's coming out next year, you may have to reassess the cooling. I don't know how the 5000 series NVIDIA stuff will be. If it's slightly warmer, maybe these a little bit more wattages or something, or voltages, I don't know. Maybe you're going to have to increase the cooling. But as it stands right now, the cooling is totally fine. In terms of offerings, this has a 4060. Does it need a 4070? No need. No need to throw 4070 in here, increase the cost by $300-$400 to get 5 to 10% performance. Just leave it. Just leave it as it is. So if it's put on 2024, we're going to be with 4000 series NVIDIA graphics because the new stuff isn't out yet. But they could put in the new AMD AI chip. The AMD Ryzen AI is a better chip, but this one here is actually slightly less good than the 8845HS just because it's a little bit more prone to like some of the buggy stuff that AMD fixed. So that would be nice. That's if it comes out this year in 2024. If they are willing to wait potentially till probably, I guess, like the new year or spring when the new NVIDIA graphics come out, and maybe AMD, I don't know, then they can slap in 5000 series. The price will go up, but I mean, imagine this laptop here with an AMD Ryzen AI chip. Fantastic. And then potentially it's going to also have something like a 5060. I have no idea what the specs will be, but then you have an even more modern GPU. So should you buy it? The Lenovo Legion 5 Slim from 2023. It depends. If it's full price MSRP, no. It's still a great laptop. I have no problem with it. I think it's fantastic. But we're so close to new stuff coming out, we don't know what Lenovo is going to do. There may be something really cool coming from them or another company. whatever. So don't do that. But if you can get this on a really good price like I did, like 1,050 Canadian dollars, that was a steal. Let's be realistic here. But even around that, a good price, I think it is worth it. I think it's something you may want to pick up. Should you get the 16 or 32 gigabytes? You're not going to be able to buy the 32 gigabytes from Lenovo. You can't right now, at least not in any country that I saw. So you have to get it from third parties, and that's going to really come down to you if you want to buy it. If you're going to be using it for pure gaming tasks and the price is even lower than I paid, 16 gigabytes, sure, like maybe 900 Canadian dollars, I think it's kind of worth it. If you're going to be going for, the 32, if you're going to be using this long term, you're going to be using it for years to come, I'd probably try to get the 32 gigabytes. This laptop right here, like this specific laptop in my hand, this model and everything, I think is a steal at the price that I paid, and I think it's a fantastic laptop. The specs here are still up to date and modern. Very, very effective CPU, like truly very, very effective CPU. I've been doing tons of 4K multi-stream editing. Just by the way, I've been using this as a daily driver for 3 weeks. Just get that out of the way. Been doing all my video editing on this for the last 3 weeks. 4K multi-stream video editing, fantastic. You get a 4060 in here. I'd call it like full watt. It's not actually full watt. It's 100 watt 4060, but that's after that. There's really no benefit. It kind of drops off going with more watts. So I consider it a full wattage 4060. The G14 I just reviewed had about an 80 watt. That's a lower watt, still like close to being full watts, but it's not. And then you can get 60 watts, 40 watts, whatever. But I'd say 100 watts is full watts. If you get a 115 watt model of a laptop, you might get a couple of FPS max more. It's not usually worth it because it's more temperature. So basically you're getting all of that here. Fantastic for video editing, fantastic for gaming. No problems there whatsoever. Fantastic. It's a really nice laptop. It has really good battery life, truly outstanding battery life. Super, super portable, thin little 14-inch laptop. Not heavy by any means. It's quite portable for a full-blown gaming laptop. I would consider this one a gaming laptop. Of course, you can get ones with more robust cooling and more performance, but it has just enough cooling, I would say, that I would put it in this is a true gaming laptop. It also does appeal to people who are just not gamers, because you do still get a 4060 in here for creative level tasks. You get a great CPU in here, awesome battery life, and beautiful screen. So it's really going to come down to you guys, what you need, what you're looking for. If you can get it for a good price, it's still a freaking steal to get this laptop, especially if the price is coming down. And seeing what the competition is this year, I wasn't impressed for what came out this year in this type of form factor. So there's really nothing. I'd still say this is probably the best 14-inch hybrid style device here, like leaning a little bit more towards gaming, but still hybrid enough that you could use it for creative type tasks. It's still really the best that you can get right now. I'm excited to see everyone in my comments. Watch my Wukong 4060 video test where I tested it with this laptop. All the comments and all the videos are like, Lenovo, please put this laptop out again this year, 2023 or 2024 or 2025 with updated specs. Everyone wants it, Lenovo. Everybody wants it. Everybody. People didn't even come to look at this laptop in my video. They just were here and they're like, oh man, that's the Legion 14-inch. They better remake that thing. So Lenovo, I know you watch my videos. Remake this laptop, put in the new AMD AI Ryzen CPU, and either the 4060, or maybe you're going to wait for the 5060. I'm fine with that. Just get it done. Make the changes that I said, which is improving the speakers and making the screen Advanced Optimus. That's all we need. After that, it's going to be pretty close to being an absolutely perfect solution in this form factor for the niche it's trying to fit.